Support for Up First Winter Games comes from NPR sponsor Allianz Travel Insurance. Get ready to give ordinary the cold shoulder with protection for adventures that give you the best kind of chills. Learn more at allianztravelinsurance.com.
As the snowboarding halfpipe kicks off, the U.S. women's team looks exceptionally strong. And here to tell us what and who to look for is Josh Sullivan of NPR member station WUNC in North Carolina. Josh, I see a snowboard right behind you that can't be a coincidence. I think we got the right person for this conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, This is the most important thing in my life a lot of days of the year. And every 4 years, it's kind of my own personal Super Bowl when everyone else decides to tune in. So thanks for having me. Excited to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this event in the Olympics and just, give us a primer on what people can expect to see.
Definitely. So there's a bunch of different disciplines, slope style, border cross, but half pipe, and in particular, women's half pipe is what most Americans are going to be the most interested in, I think. Chloe Kim, she's one of the best half pipe riders of all time. Soon to be the best half pipe rider of all time. She's trying to win her third straight gold medal in these Olympics. The team is pretty stacked behind her. But one particular story I'm interested in is the story of Maddy Schaffrick. Maddy was a child prodigy. She was on the U.S. team when she was younger, got really burned out and quit the team at the age of 20. Tried plumbing, decided to get into the trades. That didn't really work out. Snowboarding drew her back in, and now she's at her first games. She's in Italy right now, and she's going to try and get on that podium.
She tried plumbing, which actually makes sense if her event is the half pipe, right?
I mean, that joke's been made a few times before.
Okay,
for sure.
Good. Much better than me, that way I just did it, I think.
She acknowledges people love that part of the story. The plumbing era of her life was very short, very brief.
Okay.
But she needed something to do when she moved back home to Steamboat Springs, Colorado. She didn't have a college education. She didn't really think about a career path ahead of her. She decided to give the trades a try. And then she decided to coach some youth riders at Steamboat Resort for a free season pass. And she got roped all the way back in. And that's kind of the short of how she ended up here today.
All right, nice. So tell us a little bit more about some of her teammates that we're going to be seeing.
Yeah, so this is a really tough team to make. We have Chloe Kim right at the top. She's the best Olympic half-pipe rider for women ever. She has been adding tricks to her arsenal year after year, and she's also specialized in half-pipe, and so that allows her to really progress the discipline even more. Behind her, we have Maddie Mastro. This is going to be Maddie's third Olympics. She hasn't yet medaled, but she's definitely a favorite. She's been really, really competitive. She won a FIS Crystal Globe last year. And really the big thing for her, I talked to her last year, and she's really switched up her mindset. She's a really fierce competitor. You obviously have to be an Olympian, but she's trying to have more fun with it. She said the competitiveness of contest snowboarding really kind of killed her drive and didn't allow her to perform at her best in previous contests. So she's really switched up. She's in Italy. She's trying to have as much fun as possible. Hopefully that ends her up on the podium. And then we have B. Kim, no relation to Chloe Kim. She's only 19 years old. She actually just celebrated her birthday about 2 weeks ago. To make this team full of powerhouses as a 19-year-old is super impressive. And I wouldn't write her off at all. She's got a good deep bag of tricks. She is recovering from a shoulder injury, but she's going to be really exciting to watch too. And she's kind of the future.
All right, so we've talked a lot about Team USA, and they obviously do have a great team lined up. Tell us about some international competitors that might make it tough for them to win gold.
Definitely. I mean, everybody in snowboarding is kind of looking toward Japan. Japan really beefed up their program in the last few years. Seno Tomita has been a powerhouse. She's going to be pretty tough to take down. Mitsuki Ono is another big name that you're going to have to watch out for. And Gaon Choi, she's from Korea. She's been doing really, really well in the Snow League, which is a professional half-pipe contest. It's going to be really hard to take down some of these other riders. Chloe is projected to kind of be at the top of the podium, but she's also coming back from a labrum injury in her shoulder. Kind of a best-case scenario if you're going to get hurt right before the games, but an injury nonetheless. So it's going to be a battle, and that definitely opens up a little bit of room for someone to sweep in. That might be a little underrated and kind of surprise people.
All right, tell us now about Snowboard Cross. I love the name of this event, Snowboard Cross.
Totally. So think of it like motocross, right? Like dirt bikes, you're on a bicycle, BMX, except you're on a snowboard. It's different than alpine snowboarding. Alpine is like bashing gates, kind of you think like traditional ski racing. Snowboard cross is jumps, bumps, tables, and it's a race downhill, 4 at a time, usually.
Wow.
And it's really cool. It's kind of the purest. A lot of people will say it's the purest form of snowboarding because sometimes to pass someone, you need to get airborne. You need to jump up in the air and pass over someone. A lot of eyes are going to be on Nick Baumgartner. He's in his 40s. I won't do him a disservice of telling you exactly how old he is, but I will say there's a huge age gap between him and the youngest person on the team. It's also the first event that combines both men and women. You'll have mixed snowboard cross, combined snowboard cross. And so that's how he won his gold last year with teammate Lindsay Jacobellis. Lindsay's coming off of having a child, and so she won't be at the Olympics, but Faye Tellen, formerly known as Faye Galini, she is going to be at her 5th games as well, and she's looking for her first medal. I rode with her earlier this year, and she was basically saying to come out of retirement, winning a medal would be awesome, right? Everyone wants to win a medal, but really she couldn't not show her children. She still had something in the tank, but kind of put it off and decided not to go for it. So she's there. She's trying to set like a really good example for her children, and hopefully along the way that ends her up on the podium as well.
Josh, if someone's in their 40s competing against 20-somethings, I want to know about it because they become my automatic new hero. I mean, right? It's just a tough thing to do the older you get.
Yeah, snowboarding especially. I mean, when you slam hard, and I'm in my 30s, and it hurts a lot harder when I fall as it did even 5 years ago. So there's a lot of big age gaps. Louis Vito, who formerly rode for Team USA, he's up there in age. Sorry, Louis, and he's going to be riding for Team Italy this year, the host country. And so there's going to be a few names out there that you might recognize that are just like unable to give it up, and they're looking for Olympic glory one more time.
Josh, you mentioned that you're in North Carolina, where snowboarding is actually getting really popular, if it hasn't been already for a while. Tell us about how that happened.
Totally. Well, I think that it's been popular for a while. It's just that the rest of us are finding out about it. Yeah. I moved down to North Carolina 4 years ago. Its burgeoning snowboard scene is actually a big contributor as to why I decided to move from New England. A few people, one of who almost made the Olympic team, his name is Luke Winkleman. He was close. He was coming back from an injury. But him and another rider called Zeb Powell really putting the state on the map. Although if you ask them, they're just kind of like furthering the spotlight that's been shown on the state. Its mountains are smaller, shorter vertical drop, but if you want to snowboard in North Carolina, you have to love it, and you have to have a really burning passion for it. And the scene here, it's shorter. It's smaller, but it's deeper. Those who love it really love it, and they fully commit their lives to it.
All right, that's WUNC's Josh Sullivan. Josh, thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me.